Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is the weekend edition for the Sunday evening, October 20th, 2024. Now, I intentionally waited to put this out. I wanted to get into the evening session with things, and I did a special report today. The special report that I did, and I took my Sunday and devoted some time, is on the dollar index. To see the report, it's only up 3 business days. It will go off Wednesday. So understand what I'm saying. You move at any point your cursor to the top, you'll see an icon, or go to iraepstein.com. You will see on the top left, it says currency report. That's another way you can view what is going on. So over the weekend, what we saw was an attempt on Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu out of Israel, his life, which, tit for tat. I get what Hezbollah is trying to do there. It makes all the sense. But over the weekend also, it came out that the U.S. has somehow leaked the information of Israel's planned attack on Iran. I can imagine that Israel is seeing bright red and going bananas over that. The longer they wait, the more these things can happen. So that's part of what's going on. I am certain that the U.S. is hearing from Israel on this, and somewhere somebody leaked something, all right? We all know there are spies everywhere, and that's how the world goes. Tomorrow, you're going to get your leading economic coincident lagging indicators. That's the only report in the morning that comes out. I must tell you, I was giddy when the markets opened, seeing the silver and the gold going up for highs, because I've done 2 reports for you, and I hope you saw them and saw what I was predicting. Luckily, and I use the word luckily because I'm not always right, those reports were okay. They've done well. For those of you that trade, especially the ETFs with me, boy, that's going to be a neat thing in the morning if it holds up. My report on the dollar is very fascinating. I cover first pre-election, then post-election, and then the end of the year. What I think this year will hold for the dollar up or down. So if you want to see that, take a look at it. Not moving very much in the currencies right now. Bonds and notes, you can't get away from the fact that they keep adding, not subtracting yield. The market is building in that the Fed is not going, in fact, it's built it in, that they're not going to give you 50 basis points the rest of the year. Now, you might think I'm bold in making that statement, and I do too. But basis the information so far, and we get more, and don't get me wrong, November 5th is that time frame when they do it. But with just over 16 days left, I don't see information that makes the Fed jump. I think they can sit at this point, and the market is pricing that all in as you and I are talking. In the currency markets, they're digesting that as we go through too. And the question is, how do you want to play that? And that becomes an interesting question as well. When we look at the S&P, again, you're up 1.7% for the week so far. And we're open 2 hours. But that's another new all-time high if you were to close here. A weekly area chart of closes, by the way, that's on a monthly basis. I don't know if I said week, I'm sorry. This is the monthly area chart of closes. So for the month, 2/3 of the way through the month, you're up 1.7%. Today, we start the week, and we're up 0.12%. So I caught myself there, and I'm glad I did. When you look at the market, you can see you're knocking on the door of all-time highs at this point. The pattern is one of higher lows, higher highs. You've stayed and fought a battle over the 18-week average of closes, and for the most part, it has stayed very nicely over it, kicking the market up to all-time highs. And the resistance, you can see it. It's the Bollinger Band. If you don't see that, go take my course, iraepstein.com, under courses, Bollinger Band, and learn about that. You have an embedded reading. If you don't understand, again, the Enhanced Bollinger Band course teaches you this and how to put these two together. And simply put, this is a very bullish situation still. Can corrections happen? Of course. But until this red line closes under 79, the bulls have control of the market. And that normally means the market tries to advance to new highs. And that seems to be what we're doing in the Dow. not in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is holding back at this point in time, and the Russell is holding back. So you have certain markets that are not as strong as the others in the stock indices. I don't see anything yet bullish in the 5-year note. If you do, I guess you see something I don't see. You have lower highs on the swing line, lower low. As we were falling, I know what I've told you on the weekly charts, you might make a battle out of the 100-day average and the 100-week average, and the 18-week average, the red and the green, and that's exactly what is going on here. Momentum is still down, bias is down, trend is down, battlegrounds getting over the 112 area, the 112.20s actually, and see what you can do on the way down here. In the dollar index, you're back up to a resistance point. Now, I did the report on the dollar index. I think you're going to want to see it. Remember, move your cursor, go to iraepstein.com. In the eurocurrency, you're down to the support. So the dollar up to some resistance at the 100-day, the euro down to the support of the 100-day. That's the way to look at this. In the Canadian dollar, you're barely able to bounce here. It still looks bearish to me. Possibility of going to the 72.05 area for support. Japanese yen back down to the 18-week average, where now it has to figure out, does it add another leg to the downside, or does the market believe that the Bank of Japan will come in to support it? Bitcoin, now back up to the 69,000 level where resistance should be seen. This is a market that's came alive ever since the Mt. Cox situation came out, that they are not going to be able to release, or does the market believe that they're holding in Bitcoin onto the market until I believe it's next year. And that offered, you took supply off the market, that helped. In the Brent WTI, if you go higher, it means Brent's stronger than the U.S. You can see how the markets, though, are under the 18-week average. The bias is down. The trend off the swing line is up, and momentum has sort of gone flat in the market. You have the same identical picture. You went up in the WTI to 3 levels of resistance and backed right on off. Gasoline market, again, bias down. Swing line up. I don't know that you're going to be able to get back through these lows. That'll be the interesting part of this. So as you put it all together, the name of the game is, what do you do? I think I have a game plan for you. Take a look at what we've got. Let's see if I can get that to come up for you in our special report, and it will cover all these different things. It's a special report on the currencies. I do it different this time. I'm not looking at charts on the daily. I'm giving you total momentum off a 53-year period and ripping it apart and going with you pre-election, post-election, into the end of the year to see if history repeats itself. IraEpstein.com. Move your cursor to the top here, and I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Take care.